Well, this is it, isn't it? The end of Season 1 2016, Round 12 action here. Welcome to the official V8 Supercar broadcast of iRacing.com official series brought to you by RaceBot TV. I've got to say, just had a look at that TV commercial there. That Audi, that new Audi, has a bit of horn on a jellyfish. That comes out this week. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to this race as well. With me as usual on the broadcast, Jake Blackall. Jake, welcome to the broadcast. Last race, Ethan Grigalt. He will be the champion. We know that. The race now, though, is in between second and third, Josh Rogers and Ian Ford.
Yeah, thank you, Brenton, and welcome everyone. Yep, it's Ethan Grigalt. He has got it. That's a fourth championship in a row from him. And yeah, the battle is on for P2. Only 9 points separate Ian Ford and Josh Rogers. So whoever can get that little bit of advantage here at Montreal is all going to be the one that will take the spoils of being the runner-up for this season. But this track promotes a lot of close racing, a lot of difficult overtaking opportunities, especially with these curb hops and the little curb incidents that the cars can have. So that's just one thing that we've got to play as the qualifying is underway.
Yeah, it is. In fact, there's only 3.5 minutes to go, and the first of our times are actually coming in as we speak. Ethan Grigalt just crossing the start-finish line now on his first flying lap. We'll go to second, Josh Rogers, who took the pole position in the V8 Scops series last week for round one there, has got himself on provisional pole here as well, 35.786. Watch out for the shortcuts there, though. There's plenty of them around. So Ethan second, Sammy Sutton third, Mitch McLeod, Dave Moore, Brenton Hobson, Aylwood, Tom A. But yeah, things are changing all the time at the moment. What we do have, though, is 22 cars for this last race.
Yeah, that's right, 22 cars, big field especially here, but yeah, those curb hops are one of the things that these drivers have to look out for. It's especially over a big 35 lap race distance. It's going to be one of those things that could make and break where you come. It's definitely hindered some people in V8 Scops, and it will hinder some people tonight. It just depends on how aggressive you want to be, and if you're over aggressive it can definitely lose you some spots. And at the moment not a lot of people have finished on laps. I'm looking down the list, and Ian Ford and Michael Cracknell and Mitchell Searlack, all three of them haven't actually put in a lap, so they would have maybe gotten a little bit of an incident on the first lap. Hopefully they can pull one together for the second.
Puts a lot of pressure on the second lap, doesn't it? 2 minutes to go in the qualifying session here, so they will get another lap in so long as they haven't caused any damage on lap one. But there's a new guy here as well. We've got to recognise him, Michael Popper. I haven't heard of him before, I must say, so it's good to have the new guys coming into the category. So welcome to Mick, and hopefully he'll have a good strong race tonight. But tell you what, the boys will be glad to see the back of this track. It's been a long few weeks on this track, like I said with Scops last week. Official SDRT was run here on the Enduro on Friday night. So yeah, lots of laps around here. In the meantime, TTL, they did a lot of laps here in practice before Scops last week, and it shows straight away with Rogers and Sam Sutton at the moment locking out the front grid.
Yeah, Sam Sutton was very fast in Scops, and it's showing again. He's put at P2 at the moment, so front row lockout for TTL at the moment. I think a couple of cars are just running as Mitchell Searlack puts in a time for 6th position, so just in front of Ian Ford. The field a lot spread out, but that could just be because of those laps, trying to get the laps in here. Yeah, definitely difficult with the curb hops, and a couple of cars coming around. I think Brendan King is just coming across the line now, coming out of the final chicane, and he may be able to move himself up with a time. He's put in a time that will only move him to P16, so I don't think he'll be that happy with that, but definitely still moving up through the field.
Yeah, well, Brendan struggled in the early race from what I saw. I was there for a little bit, didn't see the finish. It did look like he was struggling back door there a little bit. Mario Vlasic still hasn't got a time in. Not sure he will get a time now, 40 seconds to go. But in the meantime, yeah, reflection on this season, it is going to be Ethan Grigalt's win. Again, this will be his 4th in a row. So that's outstanding. 4 official series in a row, back to back to back to back. I think I got that right. So, you know, even before we start, congratulations to him and to the SDC team. Like Marty Carroll's hit a few hurdles over the last few months with his health. Hope you're feeling better, Marty, eventually. Yeah, so Ethan's had to work pretty hard for this season.
Yeah, he has, and he's had a lot of challenges on the way. The one that definitely sticks with me was Bathurst. It was a big turning point in the championship for him, but he bounced back and won so many races after that. He did say he wasn't comfortable in the car, and he instantly got comfortable with the car again, and it showed with how dominant he was from the midway to the end of the season.
So qualifying has come to an end there, mate. So Jake, I'll get you to run through those qualifying positions.
Yeah, so qualifying finish for the final round of Season 1 of 2016, and Josh Rogers and Sam Sutton from TTL lock out the front row. Ethan Griggold, championship elect in third with David A. Moore fourth. Mitchell McLeod and Mitchell Sealack row 3 with Ian Ford, Matt Stratford behind them on row 4. Brenton Hobson in 9 and Richard Alwood rounding out the 10. Then you got Michael Cracknell in 11th, not something he'd be looking forward to down there. Heath Brennan in 12th, Robbie Tomei 13th. Todd Parks in 14th, Matt Jones and Brendan King on row 8. Michael Talenjanak and David Baxter on row 9. Luke Powell and Greg Sharp on row 10 with Michael Popper on 21st, with Mario Vlasic no time at the back of the field in 22nd.
So track temperature 36 degrees. I think it was 22 degrees for the opening race tonight, where Mick Cracknell, I think, had a good win. From what I understand, Mitch Sealack in second, Ian Ford third. But yeah, for the last time in Season 1 2016, the cars are gridding up. I tell you already that these cars, the skins on them are looking better and better every week. They look absolutely $1 million, so good job to everyone there as the revs just start to creep in. Pit stop race tonight. The cars are going to need about 45 litres, I understand. So it should make it a bit more interesting strategy-wise. Tyres do tend to hang in there fairly well.
Yeah, the tyres are definitely one of those things that can hang in there, especially over the distance. 36 degrees is a decent track temp. They would have been looking for a little bit cooler like the earlier race, but that's one thing that these drivers will have to deal with. And it's still a long race, 35 laps around here. Anything can happen, but those two TTL cars definitely locking out that front row will be strong showing for them.
Yeah, so the two TTL cars looking different with their liveries, but also one's a Holden with Josh Rogers and the Ford, Holden of Sutton and the Ford of Rogers, and it's racing away for the last time, and it is a good clean start by both the TTL guys. Ethan Griggault's going to stick his nose in here. Is he going to be able to outbrake him into the first S's? So Sutton will probably hold that high line there, put Ethan Griggault high and dry, and what that's going to do is give Dave Moore already a chance to have a look at Ethan Griggault, who got such a good drive out. So I think it's positioned normal. Ian Ford in the background, he's the one that needs to get a bit of a move on, and that's really close with him, Mitch McLeod and Ian Ford. I tell you what, you don't want to get a shortcut on this opening lap. It is death here.
Yeah, getting a curb hop here and you could drop from P1 all the way down the last in a matter of seconds. It's one thing you do not want to have. And as I look back here, McLeod is getting harassed by Ian Ford with that new sponsorship on the window banners is behind. That was Stratford and Michael Cracknell coming together, coming off of the first chicane there. So sort of clean, a little bit of bumps and a little bit of just sorting themselves out. But early on, I think Sutton's got a curb hop already.
Yeah, that doesn't take long. I think Dave Moore might have one as well, because Mitch Sealack's gone through. So Mitch Sealack, is there going to be little contact? No, there's not. So that's all pretty clean. In the meantime, Ford has got through Mitch McLeod. He's got through Dave Moore, and he's got through Sam Sutton. Unbelievable. 3 spots all at once. I tell you what, Dave Moore's slowdown does not look like it's ever going away. He's just dropped and he still hasn't been able to get rid of it. So really unlucky there for the SSR driver Dave Moore, who did such a great job in qualifying in 4th, but gee, he's got really bitten badly there by the slowdown bug. And I'll tell you what, so did Sam Sutton. That's put him right back in the order. So back to game on here. So Crackers has actually done a pretty good job as he comes up on Richard Aylward as well. Rich needs, now he told me tonight, 170 points or 172 points from one of these races to get himself up into 2nd or 3rd overall in Division 2, of which you can already tell Josh Rogers has won Division 2 by some stupidly, ridiculously high score. But Richard Aylward is desperate for a good result tonight as well.
Yeah, as they're all just starting to work their way through, and yeah, one of those results will definitely come up. Richard Aylward, he's been driving well most of the season, and just some unlucky results went away from him that he could have got some decent points at. But the field up the front started to spread out. Rogers is in P1 now with Ethan Griggoult in 2nd, with Mitchell Sealack 3rd. But with that little curb hop from Sam Sutton, it's definitely put him a long way out from where he'd like to be.
Yeah, like I said, it's just death, isn't it? And I'll tell you what, Josh Rogers still has not won an official race on Monday nights, and he goes really well here. If he can keep the curb hops or slowdowns out of his repertoire tonight, surely tonight could be the night. And I tell you what, once he gets his first win, those floodgates will open. This will set him up beautifully for next season. You know, a little bit of pressure here, a little bit of pressure with not that win. Ethan Regault, he's not going to let him go, but Josh Rogers probably had his measure in Scops last week. Oh, I tell you what, he's taken all of that plus more on the last chicane there, the chicane near the Wall of Champions. But as they go across the strike here on lap 2, a 36.198.
Car in the background,
Ethan
sorry, we had a
Regault.
car around in the background. Coming off of the final chicane. I'm trying to get a name here. I'm unsure as to who that was, but they went around and they have lost a lot of spotters on the SSR. Robbie Tomei.
Robbie
Sorry about
Tomei.
that.
And also Michael Popper. So for Mick Popper, his first race hasn't started that well. And there's also another car coming through late as well. Just having another look there as to what's happened. So Popper's actually looks like he may have driven into the back there of Tomei, and who is that you said?
Luke Powell.
Luke Powell. Yeah, so not what these guys were after at all. I think it's another SS car bit in the dust there, so not the greatest lap for the boys, unfortunately, but you know, the racing goes on up front, and let's just see, you're after that first lap already. It was 1.3 seconds was the gap between Josh Rogers and Ethan Regault. Expect that to come down a bit. Ethan extremely good at saving fuel. Not sure about Josh there in regards to fuel saving, but at the moment, Josh certainly looks like he's got the business here, and he looks like he's right on this early days.
Yeah, early days it is, and he's got it by the scruff of the neck at the moment, just pulling out that little bit of a gap, and he needs to minimise those curb hops. And I think a couple of the boys were commenting that he had a lot of them as he goes super deep through the final chicane. He had a lot of them in Scops that ruined some of his positions. I know he had one early, and if he can minimise those, he could be on to win that first race. Still hasn't won one of the official races, and it's on Monday night. It's just one of those things that keeps getting away from him. He had one at Zolder and lost that again to Ethan. So if he can just keep his head down, he's pulled out another half a second that lap on Ethan, and he keeps doing that. He's in the box seat at the moment.
Well, there's no question about him being quick. We know that. I tell you, poor old Dave Moore's had another slow down there and dropped another couple of spots. Looks like he's just making a move past Todd Park. So Dave's gone from 4th down to 12th, back up to 11th now. And Brendan King's also with these guys as well. So
they're both in the fence. Both the SSR cars in the fence. That's wow, SSR are not having a good day today. Oh, as he stops in the worst spot at the moment.
Well, there we go. So Dave's computer has crashed, so he's stopped in the middle of the track. He's just got himself out. So I tell you what, if it's not raining, it's pouring for poor old Dave Moore. They had a fantastic qualifying in 4th spot. I think that was probably the best one he's had this season, certainly. I'm probably sure it was the best one he's had, maybe even the best one he's had. So nothing went right for Dave Moore tonight. But, you know, next season he can take some confidence in because he was already quick there. Just didn't have the computer under him, unfortunately. So mechanical issue there, we can say, for Dave Moore, out of the race. But I'll tell you what, Josh has taken a lot of curb there. Has he got to slow down? No, he doesn't. Geez, he takes all the curb and more. But like I said, SSR, they're signing off the season in unlucky style.
Yeah, signing off this season with some bent race cars. So just trying to get them all out of the way, get all the cobwebs gone from this season, move on to next season, and put in some decent results there. But at the moment, it's just looking back at the battle between Alwood, Sealac and Stratford and then Crackers as well. There was like 3 wide going down the last straight coming up to the final chicane. I think maybe one of them had a slowdown. I didn't really catch it there, but they're all still on the back of each other. It's a good little battle here.
Yeah, it is. And Mitch Sealac had a good strong run, as did Mick Cracknell. So surprised that they are down the order, I'll be honest with you. Obviously, Mitch had reasonably good qualifying in 7th, but there is live timing available too. Make sure you watch out for that. Just going to sort something out here. Yeah, so have a look at the live timing that's available there. I think the top right corner of the broadcast that will show you all the times, and when the pit stops come, it'll show you all that action as well.
Yeah, it's a good little feature that we have here at RaceSpot TV. It keeps everyone up to date, including ourselves and all the viewers, of where your favourite driver or your team's drivers are at. But just looking back between Mitchell McLeod and Sam Sutton after those curb hops, starting to work his way back up through the field. He is now caught behind Mitchell McLeod, and maybe be able to have a look. He's a bit too far back going into the final chicane, but he's definitely making some ground and maybe have another loss. As just looking back, as Crackers has lost a lot of ground to Mitchell Sealack, so I think he was having a battle there with Matty Stratford and lost a bit of ground to Sealack in front of him.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the recovering Sam Sutton here. Like I said, those first lap slowdowns are just ridiculous, aren't they? And he's made some serious ground on the car 5 Mitch McLeod car. I always get confused looking at Mitch's car. It looks like the bonnet's always missing, but that's the livery on it. So yeah, I haven't seen. I think Mitch race. He got to split 2 last week at Scops. Actually, yeah, he did. He was split 2 at Scops last week and actually had a win. So from second on the grid. Old memory's still going right sometimes. But Sammy Sutton, well, he actually led the race for quite a while.
He locked a brake. He locked the right front.
Yeah, he made that easy, shall we say. Just that little bit of pressure there from Sam at the back, and Sutton is now really on his way. And the next target is the Maverick welding car of Ian Ford.
Yeah, just locked a brake, and he's gone around a bit wide in the next chicane also, so I don't think McLeod's just lost his little bit of a rhythm. Hopefully he can start to get back into it, but he's lost a lot of ground to Sam Sutton, and Sam Sutton just was like, thank you, I'll take that very much, and move on to the next target that he's just doing so well at the moment. And as I look back behind them, there's a battle between the teammates, Elwood and Sealack, both in the Simworks cars for ANZ, a little bit of different liveries which would be taken through with the Scops rounds with the livery changes that has to be happened, but there's the cars, and those two are getting really close here. Hopefully the team cars can keep away from each other.
Got to admit, I like the old livery better. The Jared Filser one that he ran last year, I thought that was superb. But the ANZ cars, these Simworks cars, are running at line astern here. Mitch looks like he's got a bit of damage, and Rich is not going to make life too difficult here, I wouldn't think. The 2 ANZ cars aren't going to get too involved in the battle. Rich gets out of that really easy. You can see those brake lights tapping away at the back. So Sealack goes up a position up to 6, and Rich down that 1 spot to 7th. Watch out for Mick Cracknell and Matty Stratford and Brenton Hobson as well, because these guys are making short little ground gains here, gains in ground there. How's my English tonight? And Crackers is also, he'll be right on the back of these two, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see Sealack just create a bit of a gap here between himself and Rich, and then hopefully for Crackers, or for their sake, Crackers might be held up behind Rich Elwood for a little bit.
Yeah, and Crackers definitely showed he's had pace this weekend. They did win in the SDRT Enduro, him and Bo Cubis, with a little mistake from Ian Ford in the pits once again, but we won't talk about that. As Crackers has definitely shown some pace. He won the early race, and if he can start to make some ground, I think he will be a bit disappointed with qualifying all the way down in 11th, but he's definitely making up the ground now. He's up into P7. He'll be looking to get up to Elwood and start to make that position up.
Yeah, well, Josh Rogers in the meantime, his last lap at 36.3. I've said to him so many times, and I've said on the call, I said, next week's your week, next week's your week. I haven't said it this week for a very reason, is that this week could be his week. So a 36.3 last lap, 36.7 there. I tell you what, a lot of that time would have been lost on that last curb just there, because he hit that pretty hard. 36.6 for Ethan Grigol. So for the first time, a little gain there as he just is able to get around Luke Power, who's exiting the pits in the car. Looks a bit like bubblegum if you ask me. So I'm not sure Ethan's going to make too much more ground here. 3.1 seconds down at the moment, but I reckon that Ethan might be able to have a shorter pit stop, and the reaction is like, who pits first here, because they could take about 45 litres of fuel way too early for the pit window. I think anything between lap 11 they can start pitting, so that's going to be a vital part as to where they come out in traffic.
Yeah, and also, like, meaning into that with the pit stops, it depends on where you come in, but also curb hops. If Josh Rogers gets a curb hop, he will be, like, Ethan will catch him in a matter of seconds, and that'll be that gap all gone. So it's one thing that Josh needs to be careful about. Like we're saying it all the time, it's those curb hops that can be very deadly here, and Ethan just needs to do what he does. He's done it all season. He's obviously going to have less fuel at the stop. We know he's very good at fuel saving, and I think he's a little bit better than Rogers, and it will definitely show in the stop.
Yeah, and the slowdowns are really starting to bite hard here as Hobson has made some severe ground. He's actually been able to pass Matty Stratford and Mick Cracknell. These guys have both had slowdowns over this lap, so Crackers has dropped down and Hobson has got himself up and away now. And that's the thing, it's fine to be aggressive here, isn't it? And the aggressive guy is the fast guy, but you can ruin all that work. You might make a gain of a tenth or two if you're aggressive, but you get one of these curb strikes or slowdowns, you lose 3 or 4 seconds. Sometimes it's just not worth the risk.
Yeah, it isn't worth the risk, but one person that's putting it all on the line to catch him is Sam Sutton. He has made up 4 tenths last lap on Ian Ford, and he is coming in a hurry. He's definitely got the eyes on after the mistake on the first lap at the curb hop that dropped him all the way down to, I think it was like 8th or 9th in the field. And he's starting to lurk up to the back of the Maverick Welding Commodore, and he will get there in a couple of laps, maybe before the pit stop. But we'll have to see what Ian Ford does, or whether Sutton, just as soon as he gets to him, peels in to try and just get the undercut.
So about 36 seconds I think you need behind you, 37 seconds you'll need behind. So if you're spotting for those guys at all, that's what you need to be looking at. I think I caught that from the earlier race. I think that's about right. So there's plenty of time to be made or lost in the pits, but also with traffic. And the advantage here for some of these guys, like the ANZ guys, they've got Brendan King. He's that little bit back, so the leaders could come out around where Brendan King is, or Brendan's about 23 seconds now. But if you pitted now, even though it's not open, you come out just behind Matt Jones, so you wouldn't even be considering pitting just yet.
Yeah, pitting will be maybe one of the last things that some of these guys will be thinking of, especially with tyres and the traffic is one thing that you need to take into account. Then that's just one of those things that, as we look back, I think there is a little bit of action going on here between Crackers and Hobson going into the final chicane. There is. Crackers had a look but didn't make the most of it there. He's just going to sit in behind him for another lap. Took a lot of that curve through both of the first and second part of that last chicane, and we'll get a good run going down the front stretch.
Yeah, he will, and I'm not sure whether Brenton's got some damage there to the front right. Might just be on my screen at the moment, but Crackers does look the faster of the two, there's no doubt about it. But whether he's going to get there or not, and my director Hugo Luis says yes, it is a damaged car there for Brenton Hobson, so that will affect his straight line speed there. And he's done a pretty good job here, up into 8th position from just 9th on the grid, so not any serious gains there. But he's a guy who just seems to be improving week in, week out. I think he's only been around racing with us for, I think this will be his second, maybe third season. So generally always a decent starter in the top split on Monday nights, and he's getting the job done. Up into 8th position at the moment, got himself in the top 10.
Yeah, he's always improving as he ran a bit wide there through the chicane under the pressure from Cracknell. He's just got to be composed, but he's doing well. A couple of seasons that he's been running in the V8 car. As Crackers has a look going down into the final hairpin, thought better of it, stayed in behind him. And it's just trying to get that run going down this back straight to maybe have a look down into the final chicane.
Yeah, so let's just see how much the straight line is affected there. I'm not sure, just having a look at something else too. Josh Rogers' last lap certainly wasn't his quickest lap, so wondering if he had a bit of a problem there. There's also another battle developing, and that's just probably one we should be on the lookout, Mr. Directors. Mitch McLeod and Mitch Searlack, the two Mitchells, are going head to head here as they cross the end of lap 10 onto lap 11. Mitch Searlack has made some significant ground on Mitch McLeod of late, and these two here, very, very feisty racers, shall we say. Good defence here so far by Mitch McLeod, but Mitch Searlack's made some serious ground in the last lap and a half.
Yeah, making a lot of ground at the moment. He's definitely just going to be held up a little bit behind Mitchell McLeod. He'd want to get that job done. He definitely was having a look down into turn 1, but couldn't get it done. And now he's just going to have to sit behind him. But he's actually losing a lot of time at the moment with the pace that he was running to catch them. And especially with the fact that you can see the gap is closing with Alwood behind him. It's not much, but just in that first couple of corners in the first sector, you can see that Alwood has started to close that gap a little bit, and this is not what Searlack wants. He wants to get around him and start to make that move early and start to move up.
Yeah, but like I said, it's all confidence for next season, isn't it? And next season the calendar's been put out, and hell's bells, those races are long. It's like an endurance series, and I think pretty much every single race you can guarantee there's going to be a pit stop involved, because they are some incredibly long races happening next season. But in the meantime, back to this one, you're right, Mitch McLeod just seems like he's just disappeared that little bit. He's probably got himself 0.3 of a second there, so It's little gains there, and also back to Brenton Hobson and Mick Cracknell. Cracker's having a real red hot go here. Again, just backs out of it. Yeah, good racecraft though, because it could have ended both their day. Certainly Mick Cracknell, certainly the faster of the two at the moment.
Yeah, he's definitely just, I don't know, he's just putting his nose in, trying to get Hobson to make a mistake and get the position early. And if he can get a curb hop out of Hobson, he can make it even easier for himself. But at the moment, Hobson's really holding tough, and Crackers just can't seem to get around with him. He's not showing the pace that he's had all week. The weather may be playing to it, maybe change the setup, which I wouldn't think would be happening. But as we're just moving up, Siolak having another look on McLeod. He's brought that gap back pretty quickly and is already starting to have another attack.
Yeah, he has, and I reckon he's looking real handy here. As they go down the back straight here, he's put himself in a great position to make a move, just needs to get out of it. Good racecraft again. I was actually just having a look before the third ANZ car. Brendan King is in the pits. It looks like his day is done, so his season is done, but this here is lighting up between the two Mitchells.
Yeah, it's lighting up. Oh, there's a little bit of a brake lock there from Siolak. Don't know whether he got into the back of McLeod under brakes there, but he definitely was late on the brakes. He lost a lot of ground on the exit, which he would not have liked to have had, and will not have an attack down here into the final chicane, but hopefully he can get a run through that final chicane and set him up for the first corner.
I'm also having another look at Mick Cracknell. So our old sparring partner Sammy Compton's just got through and said that Mick's already had 3 slowdowns. There's another battle developing here between Greg Sharp and Matt Jones. Now, Matty Jones, I think, is coming second, maybe third in Division 2. So he's going to need a reasonably good result here to make sure he capitalises on that in front of Richard Arwood. But Greg Sharp in that Auto Loan Centre car, he's another guy. He's been here every week racing, and solid performance again. The car 14 up in the 13th place. Probably hasn't done a lot of racing this week, so it's great to see Sharpie out and about and doing some laps.
Yeah, it's good to see the guys coming back week in, week out. I just want to reiterate what's happened up here. We got Hobson had a slowdown, had that curb hop through the final chicane and lost the spot to Michael Cracknell as well as Matty Stratford. So he got succumbed to the pressure of Crackers and lost the spot and lost another one in the fact of Matty Stratford. So definitely not something Hobson would have wanted.
No, it's not, and now Mick Cracknell's been released. He's now going to be able to chase down Richard Arwood, all things being equal. I would think Crackers is probably the faster of the two, a 37.978 last lap and a 38 flat with traffic. So we go back to Mitch Siolak, back forward to Mitch Siolak. Again, this battle continues between the two Mitches. Siolak's making some good ground, there's no doubt, but Mitch McLeod, he's very exact, in his exits of the hairpin and other places where he reduces the amount that Mitch Siolak can attack.
Yeah, he's just making up grounds here and there and picking the spots where he knows his car is stronger than McLeod's, and he definitely makes up a lot of ground through this first sector. He maybe loses it a little bit through the second, but he gets it again through the final sector. So he's just a little bit of areas where Siolak is faster, and he can definitely, especially through there, turn 2, he makes up a lot of ground under brakes and is able to hold it with McLeod. And then through this next section he is able to run a bit more percentage of speed through here and can easily make a lot of ground there. He runs a bit wide as I say that. So
see, the understeer was real there, wasn't it?
Yeah, so a little bit of understeer mid.
Yeah, so maybe just sitting in the dirty air of McLeod for an extended time is starting to affect the fronts of Mitch Siolak. But like I said, Mitch McLeod, he's very exact with his exits, and he sets himself up for good speed down the main straights, which really reduces the chance of Mitch Siolak having an attack. And tell you what, if you're thinking now, if you're on board with the ANZ car of Mitch Siolak and you're spotting for him right now, you'd be saying, Mitch, enjoy your pit stop this lap, because this will be a good opportunity to come in.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity to get him in and get him out of that traffic as McLeod actually runs wide, and but he got the better exit, so was able to do that and get it done nicely and hold off the pressure. But just moving to in front of those two, Sutton has closed up to Ian Ford, so the Custom Image Concepts TTL car of Sam Sutton is caught up to Ian Ford, and he will start to have a couple of attacks. Maybe it might be worth him coming in early as well.
I would think it probably would be, and the the ERA driver Ian Ford. He's struggled here this week. He's been crook all week, so again he hasn't done as many laps or with setup as he would want. But like I said, with Scops last week, the cars were pretty set. And with the ERA car, I have to announce that, as you can see on the windscreen, GTI have come on board with Evolution Racing Australia. So I know they've sponsored other teams in the past, and I think they still have an association with ANZ Motorsports as well. But it's great to have GTI on board with that car, and so thank you to Christian and all those at GTI for getting involved in the Australian iRacing community even further. To have in the background in the meantime Mick Cracknell pitting.
Yeah, Mick Cracknell and Matty Stratford pitting, but Searlack and McLeod, they were on it coming out of 2, and Searlack was right out sideways, managed to get it around the outside of Mitchell McLeod and got the job done. So he's moved up into P5 and made that position well down, so he's got it up there, and he's got some clean air now as McLeod will be behind in that dirty air, and hopefully he can get it done.
Yeah, well, the battle here is though for third and fourth with Sam Sutton and Ian Ford. Now right now one of these guys is going to pit this lap. I wouldn't be surprised if they both end up pitting. I reckon Ford will certainly pit, and I'm thinking Sutton's thinking right now, well, if Ford doesn't pit, I'm going to pit. So just watch out for this as they come up to end of lap 15, and there we go. Oh, Ford has had a huge shortcut there, a massive shortcut. I reckon he was thinking of coming in, and that's blown his race out of the water, unfortunately. I reckon he was thinking, he was reacting to what was happening behind him then, not what was happening in front. And I was thinking, he probably thought Sutton was going to pit, so he was going to pit, and then he saw late that Sam wasn't going to pit, so he wasn't able to get the anchors on in time, and that's cost him massively.
Yeah, I think he braked really late. I think he did think that Sutton was going to pit and then didn't, and just didn't know what he was doing there, and lost all composure of where he was at on the track, and just was unable to get it turned in, and had to cut that second part of the chicane and lost a lot of time there. So Sutton gets gifted that third position at the moment, and that's one of the people who we're looking at for the P2 in the title is Ian Ford. And Ian Ford, he only had a 9-point advantage, and if Rogers can keep this up, it could be the swinging in the other direction when the day's done.
As it stands at the moment, that 9 points plus more has disappeared. There's no doubt about that. But it's a solid race here for Josh Rogers, and if he gets the win, well, he'll say the same thing. He's overdue, and if he gets the win, he's deserved it, because he's had other races where he's had the chance to win. We've been through that before, but I don't think he's ever had a 4.5 second lead over a 4-time champion before. And I think Rogers is actually pitting now as well, so good strategy there. Both Rogers and Ethan Grigol are pitting here. I would imagine Sam Sutton pitting, Ian Ford pitting, so look how much ground Ford made up there on Sam Sutton as he entered the pits. Don't be surprised if there's a slowdown there for the car number 2.
Yeah, you
well, actually, it'd be a penalty.
Really hot there. Yeah, it'd be a penalty.
It won't be a slowdown, it'd be a penalty.
Really hot. And just looking back at it now, I'm trying to get the information up of the data of the speeding into the pits, and I think he was alright. He was a bit sideways coming in, but he got it held up in time. But the lap before, Searlack and Alwood actually pitted, even after getting past McLeod, so made up a little bit of ground there.
Well, and they'll continue to make some ground too. I think the new tyres will make a big difference. And let's just have a look. Before they pitted, it was down to 4 seconds, so Ethan made 0.4 of a second, and he has made a lot of ground there in the pit stops. This is what I'm saying. Ethan Grigol, very, very good at saving fuel, so that's not 4 seconds anymore. So Ethan Grigol certainly has come out to 21.3 seconds for our leader in the pits, 20.1, so 1.2 seconds and 19.7 seconds for Sam Sutton in third. So there's a significant difference there between the two TTL cars.
Yeah, significant difference in fuel. Maybe Rogers was being a little bit conservative, putting in that little bit more. I know in Scops we had Madison down running out in the final lap. He put, I think it was, 12 litres short in his final pit stop, and it definitely hurt him, and he lost that race because of it, but he had a comfortable lead. I think Rogers is thinking, maybe if I can just do what I do and just put in a little bit extra, I had that 4 second gap that I could sort of bump 1 or 2 more litres, could help him towards the end of this race, but it's definitely put Ethan in striking distance.
I think that's a bit of an understatement there, mate, just quietly saying it hurt him a little bit. Mate, it cost him the race completely, but what a great finish it was, with Jared Field still doing Stephen Bradbury only led for 100 metres, not even. but it was a pretty important 100 metres. So the positions haven't changed, but certainly the gap has. And lap 17 they're on now as they go through, as Josh goes through the last chicane. This was up to 4.4 seconds. I don't think it was just a matter of the pit stop being about 1 second quicker. I think also on the entry, so that 4.4 is down to 2.2, so 1.8 second gain overall there for Ethan Grigol. But I'm not sure he's got the overall pace. I think really right now he's relying on Josh Rogers having a shortcut.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that he just didn't have the pace in the first half of this race, because they sort of came in at the halfway mark. So they're going to have the same sort of tyre life. They know what they've done. The first half of this race will correspond to what they're about to do now. And Ethan just didn't have that initial outright pace that Josh Rogers had. And if Josh Rogers can do it again, he can maybe hopefully hold on to his first victory on a Monday night.
Yeah, and just going through those position changes, Mitch McLeod looks like he's the biggest loser from those pit stops. He's now found himself down into 9th behind Matty Stratford. Now, let's not forget that the two Mitches were running close neck to neck, but it's 8 seconds difference now. So unless McLeod's had a slowdown, which we didn't see, but he's gone from just in front of Mitch Ciolak to now just over 8 seconds behind him. So that's a big loss there for the McLeod car. Matty Stratford's maintained, Richard Arwood's maintained, but Mick Cracknell and Mitch Ciolak, they're the big gainers here, going up to 5th and 6th.
Yeah, it may have put a bit more fuel in. I did run a couple of laps longer than Ciolak, but I don't think he would have gained Ciolak and then would have gained 8 seconds on him. I think that's a bit over the top. So maybe a little bit more fuel for McLeod, and maybe even a curb hop, as I think Rogers may have just had a little mistake there, but he's okay, it's all good. Had a little bit of an error on my screen, but he actually gained 3/10 that lap. So he's got this outright speed that he's showing here, and he's putting it to good use out in front.
Yeah, he is, and like I said, this will certainly cement second place overall for Josh Rogers. And I can't remember, I haven't done iRacing forever, but I can't remember a Division 2 driver doing so well. If you know what I mean, like he's improved leaps and bounds. He's gone from pretty much a privateer up into a unique team like TTL, where they can offer him so much support and give him great support and some decent teamwork, gets him good setups. But I'll ask you this question, Jake, and for anyone that's listening out there, who is the number one TTL driver at the moment? Is it Josh Rogers?
Well, that's the thing, is it Sam Sutton? I think Sutton actually came 3rd on the weekend, if I'm not mistaken. The Scops round, I don't know. So a lot of strong talent in TTL that they have managed to gain, and Rogers is definitely one of them. And he's shown that in official, and he's shown it in Scops getting pole. He's not just a little bit of a here I am in official. He's there in Scops as well. So if you can keep doing that, where's Hampstead in all this? You know what I mean?
I was going to say, there is a
Hampstead,
guy called Richard Hampstead. I was surprised you didn't mention him.
I was getting there. Richard Hampstead, we all know, has been one of those leading TTL drivers, and he was always up the front. He won the initial V8 Scots Championship, I think winning all the races bar the first one, if I'm not mistaken. So he's definitely got that outright pace, but he's now got a couple of other guys to bounce off, which could actually help the whole team as a whole, especially with the amount of calibre of drivers that they have, especially with PJ Sturgis and a couple of the other guys that they have in there. They're a little bit of a bank of a team, and if they can keep this up, who knows what's going to happen for next season, whether they can challenge Ethan for the whole series.
Whilst we're talking about good drivers, I want to just go on board, Mr. Director. I know he's driving by himself for a while, but we've got to give a bit of airtime here to Ethan Grigol. There's been a few races where we haven't shown Ethan a hell of a lot because of his absolute dominance of the car, number one. But this Knight Rider design livery car, it looks absolute schmick. But by the end of today, or in the next 16 laps, Ethan Grigol is going to be a 4-time champion in the official series, and there's going to be some going, but the good guys don't race anymore, rah rah rah. Championship win is a championship win. He's taken it to these guys. He's been absolutely dominant the greater majority of the races. I think apart from Bathurst, where he was caught up in someone else's accident. I think Mick Hammond lost it at turn 2 after Ethan didn't put a lap in qualifying. I think he's been the top 2 every race. I'm pretty sure of it, actually. Top 2 every race. Super fast, super consistent, Did a great job at Scops last week, 5th overall, and that was after getting quite a few slowdowns as well. I know a lot of the attention of slowdowns went towards Josh Rogers. Yeah, Ethan Gregor had way too many than he would like as well, and that cost him a lot of time. So, hats off to Ethan Gregor, a great champion. Here is week in, week out. He won the V8 Supercars America Series as well, finishing that up on Saturday. So this is a guy who loves driving the V8s, and he's a professional gamer, believe it or not. I think, just got the wall next there. I think he actually represented Australia in Battlefield 4 or something. I might be completely wrong there, but it was something like that. So, put him behind a keyboard and behind a steering wheel. He can produce some really good work here, and very, very much deserved champion, Ethan Gregor.
Yeah, he's definitely deserving in this championship, and he's been deserving of all of them. And it's one of those things, I think he's got that mentality to whatever he gets into and wants to try, he will make sure he perfects it. He's done that with obviously his other gaming sides behind his, I think it was a Battlefield 4 that he did with all that competing in Australia and whatnot. But he's done that, and he's done that with iRacing as well. He just come up and blew our world away really with the pace that he started to show and started to win the championships, and now he's 4-time champion. And it's just one of those things, I think he has that mentality. If he's going to start something, he's going to make sure he's good at it, and he's shown it this season. And hey, who knows what the rest of the year unfolds. We've still got 3 more seasons this year, and next season is going to be a long one. It's going to be very difficult. The mental game will definitely come into it with the longer races, and let's see how he goes there.
Well, if he wins every season for the rest of this year, by the time 2016 finishes up, he would have won 7 official series. Now, the great Madison Downs won 9, and I'm not here to compare Madison and Ethan, but if he can do what he's aiming at doing, he's well and truly on track. Talk about back on track. Let's go ahead to this battle here with Greg Jones. Thanks, Mr. Director. I was actually looking at that. Greg Sharp, Todd Parks, Michael Talajnak. I've got a feeling that Talajnak had a short slowdown not so long ago. This is a little train led by Matty Jones here. So this battle has been going on for the last few laps. All of these cars have already pitted, so fresh tyres on them. These guys will be racing hard to the end.
Yeah, these guys will be giving all they've got towards the finish of the race. Yeah, they're down in 13th, 14th and 15th, but it doesn't matter. There's always battles throughout the V8 Supercar field, and we've got it right here. And Jones just eked out a bit of a gap coming down that back straight in front of Sharp, and he maybe can hold on, but Park's car has a lot of front end damage, and I don't think that'll be helping with the aero of the front of that SSR Commodore.
No, it's not, and I'm just having a look. Sorry, Michael Talajnak at the back there. I think he had a slowdown last lap, but he's certainly he runs as a privateer, Mick, and gets into more than his fair share of trouble, shall we say. He's got I'd say it to his face, Mick, you need to work on your racecraft a little bit. You do tend to trip over a lot of other cars, but when he's got his eyes aimed forward and his car running clean, he is genuinely quick. He's just got to get more time into the seat, to be honest with you, and he will get there. Area 51 Racing, I think I see on the side of his car there, so maybe not running as a privateer, so he's with Area 51 Racing, but I'll be honest, I haven't heard of them before, but hopefully it's a team that's on the up and up.
Yeah, it's good to see different teams coming around and starting up, especially coming into V8 land. I know there's been a couple of teams that I know of that are looking to come into the V8 field, so it'll be interesting to see how those new teams start to come up and whether they'll be in the Monday official, maybe even second split. But it's interesting to see all these cars starting, new teams and drivers starting to come up through the field. But this battle here between Jones and Sharp sort of just died off a little bit. There's a couple of cars that got a bit of a gap going on, and just see what goes on from here on out.
Yeah, and also big week for iRacing this week, and at the start of the broadcast we saw that lovely Audi R8 on the GT3 class. The Blancpain official endurance series will be starting April for the pro guys. 5 races, but I think they're pretty confident they're going to put a 6th one in there.
There is 6, sorry.
It is locked in, there we go, even better. So, big week for iRacing. You get the R8 pre-order now, and apparently you can use it whilst everything else is happening. The Mercedes, which sounds pretty good, but I think the R8 sounds better. Be careful what I say there. And the Mazda, it's a free content, so they'll be improving that. But also for the open wheeler guys, the Renault the Formula Renault is coming out. So looking forward to all of those cars being released over the next few days.
Yeah, a lot of diverse cars that iRacing adding, especially with the Formula Renault 2.0 and then the Merc and the Audi. Definitely got to love that Audi, but the Merc sounds awesome as well. So it's going to be one of those things with the Blancpain Endurance Series that will be broadcasted here on RaceSpot TV, and one of the series that I think needs a lot of limelight. It's going to be difficult. We've got a couple of Australian teams in there, I think 5 or 6 Australian teams, and it'll be interesting to see what's going to come about that.
Yeah, there'll be 5 teams. Well, 4 teams, but one of the teams, Mad Cow, got 2 cars entered. TTRL combined have got themselves, I think they came now 8th or 10th overall in the pro qualifying. So watch out for them. They will be extremely strong. Dylan Sharman, Madison Down, I would imagine will probably do the greater amount of work in those cars. Obviously, the boys at Evolution Racing Australia, Direct Clutch Motorsport have got themselves in as well, and like I said, those 2 Mad Cows are also in. Yeah,
so good diverse range. Just looking back here at Matt Jones and Sharp and Parks, they've all started to close in, the 3 of them, as Parks is going to have a little look going into turn 1. Thought better of it as Sharp runs that middle line. You can run, a lot of people run different lines into one to set them up for turn 2 here at Circus Villeneuve, and there's just a little bit of a gap now starting to form between Jones and Sharp. Just a little bit of a gap as Sharp goes on the defensive route with Parks behind him. Also behind them is Talagenac. Oh no, you're right, you go.
Yeah, no, sorry, it's madly typing away there. Yes, so this race is just going lap 24, so still a long way to go. Tyre wear at the end of this will really come into effect, and that damage on the front of Todd Parks' car. These cars actually look fairly similar, the ERA car and the SSR car there, Eaton car. So, Matty Jones, he's not holding them up. I don't think he's holding them up. I just think these guys are running very, very similar times.
Yeah, they're just all very similar in pace, and they're all running together. But actually, as we say that, Matt Jones starts to just skip away a little bit, starts to just pull out a little bit of gap in that Henley Commodore, and the 3 behind him nose to tail through the hairpin between Sharp, Parks and Talagenac. And Talagenac, I don't know whether he has the pace. He's been keeping up with him, but maybe he has the pace to get around him. He's certainly there. He just hasn't made a lot of moves, just sort of sitting behind them and waiting for stuff to happen in front. But I don't know whether it is. You'll see what happens towards the end of this one.
Yeah, there hasn't been many slowdowns with these boys, I've noticed. I think, like I said, Talagenac had one a few laps ago. We saw Todd Parks have one really early, which put him back amongst it. But, gee whiz, all of a sudden Jones just looks like he's sprinted away, doesn't he? But at last lap at 38.3, Jones, a 4/10 gain on Greg Sharp, 38.7, 39 flat, and a 38.6 out of these 4 at the moment. But, this is where the action is. And it's good to see these guys getting a bit of airtime. Like, there's a race on at the front, yes, we know, but that's out to 3.3 seconds. So looking very, very comfortable is Josh Rogers, and I don't think Sammy Sutton's going to get to Ethan, and Ian Ford, I think in the last 2 laps in a row, has had some slowdown, so he's been burnt. He's 15 seconds off the pace there. But it's good to see the guys like Talagenac, Parks, Sharp and Jones getting amongst it.
Yeah, there's also just in front of him is Hobson and Brennan. They're having a real hot go here. Hobson actually, Brennan, got a cut on the final chicane a couple of laps ago, and now he's dropped back in behind him, and Hobson is going to have a look. Here comes Brennan. They're all just... Brennan, he's going to get it done.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Whoa, is he?
Sideways.
There's a wall right there.
In the fence. He saved it. Wow. Good driving there by both of them. Hobson, a little bit of contact that he was sliding, but he just managed to regather it and got going.
Yeah, I'm not sure if seeing someone spinning is good driving, but good driving in the fact that they didn't make contact. We'll just look at that replay, and he just lost the rears, didn't he? The back got away from him, off that racing line a little bit, and the good driving, like you said, was that they didn't make contact and no damage. And I think straight away he's recognised where he's heading. He's got the anchors on as well as he can and kept it off that wall of champions. So what that's done though, just in that little mistake there, that's cost him 5.5 seconds, that little mistake.
Yeah, lost a lot of ground to Hobson, so that battle sort of died out over that. And yeah, good driving by Hobson, not the hit him, because in that area of the track, you're sort of just letting the car sit and waiting to get back on the throttle, because you're letting it hit the curbs and letting it bounce and waiting for the car to settle to get back on the power. So to get back on the brakes, especially when the car is light in the middle of the corner, he did a good job not to just absolutely destroy the back of Heath Breton's car there.
And we've got Richard Aylward in the car, number 8, and he's got Mitch McLeod. Mitch will probably be disappointed with the second half of this race, but he's making gains here. But, like I said, he was running with Mitch Ciolek for quite a long while, and he's now 10 seconds off them. So even after the pit stop, certainly dropped off the back a little bit more. And Rich Aylward, we spoke about him, he needs about 170 points to go up a position in Division 2 overall. Oh, sorry, Rich, I can't see that happening here. Not from your 7th position, especially with Mitch McLeod barking at the door here, mate, because he's pretty keen to come in and have a look.
Yeah, he's going to have a look soon. He's been making up some ground, and I just want to also, while this battle is going on, Sam Sutton is closing considerably on Ethan Griggold. I don't know how long that's going to be lasting. Hopefully Ethan can pick up the pace. Maybe Sam will catch him before the end. There's not many laps to go. That one's going to come down to wire as we look at Aylward and McLeod. McLeod just has so much greater pace in this second half of the race, even though he did have a slow pit stop. But he could be much higher than where he is right now.
Yeah, he could be, no doubt at all. And my friend Richard Hampstead he's correct me, and rightfully so, because Sam Sutton over the last lap has made a 6/10 gain on Ethan Griggold. These TTL guys, they were practicing for Scots a month in advance of the round 1 last week, so these guys are really, really tuned up. And I think, to be fair, if you asked them, and I haven't, but I reckon if you did ask them, they'd probably be, I think Sammy came 3rd overall in the race. Josh won got pole position, so nothing too scrubby there. But I think if you asked them, were they happy with the result as a team, I don't reckon they would say yes. I'm only guessing there. They might have been ecstatic, I don't know. But they put a lot of work into that to that race, and rightfully so. And the results were solid, but I don't think it was what they were after. I think Sammy Sutton coming 3rd, he'd be stoked with that, no doubt. But all those slowdowns that Josh Rogers got, it really burned him. And I'm not sure how much time Rich, I know you're watching, so I'm not sure how much time he had in the car. But certainly, Jared and Madison, they were really super strong throughout, and did a great job.
Yeah, they did a good job. Sam Sutton doing a great job at the moment. Gained 1.1 seconds on Ethan Griggold that last lap, so he's starting to make that ground up. And he can maybe make it a TTL 1-2. Don't want to put the commentator's curse on him, but he is starting to make that ground up. And if you can get around, you can catch Ethan. It's one thing to get around Ethan. He isn't a 4-time champion for nothing. He can hold his ground, and we'll see what happens here. But definitely the tyre life looks better on Sam Sutton's car.
And I've been corrected again by Richard Hampstead. Thanks, Rich. Madison got pole last week, but I know Josh Rogers got the quickest overall time in pre-qual, so that's probably where I tripped up there. But this race is on now for 2nd place. And I don't know whether Ethan really needs to fight real hard here. As every lap goes, it's not a pride thing for him. He's won the championship. He's been so strong throughout this season and the last 3 seasons before as well. I guess he's got nothing to lose. And same with Sammy Sutton. I don't think Sam's got anything really to gain. He was away for quite a while with the army doing his thing. And just going back to Rich Aylward and Mitch McLeod, our directors, looking at, and that battle's going on as well. But I would rather, Mr. Director, if that's okay, go back up to this great battle here that we've got with 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, this battle is starting to heat up here, and Sam Sutton has closed down to about 0.3 of a second to the back of Ethan Griggold. He's shown the pace that he's had. He's been in the 36s, 6s consistently over the past couple of laps, and if he can keep this up, he can easily has the pace to get around Ethan. But like I was saying, it's one thing to catch him, it's one thing to overtake him. But I agree with your statement of Ethan maybe just moving over. He doesn't need to fight it. He doesn't need to get 2nd place to win the championship. He can finish wherever he needs to. He will have it locked up, and he just needs to be very calm about what he does here.
Yeah, he does, but like I said, nothing to gain, nothing to lose. I'd say the same for both of us. So could we just race on here? But like we're saying, the STC guys there's been a few struggles this season, but they've certainly shone again. But what this is also doing is really cementing what Josh Rogers is doing out in front. this is exactly, you know, if Ethan was to make any gains at all as car comes out the pits there, Luke Power comes out the pits, you know, if there was any hope of making gains, you know, Josh is well over a shortcut in front now, 5.8 seconds, and that's going to expand out. So she was lap 30 of lap 35. He's got himself 6 seconds. If he doesn't win this, he won't win anyone.
Yeah, he's definitely in the box seat at the moment. You can get a 4-second curb hop late in the race. I have done that as we move back to another battle as Elwood and McLeod, they're back on it, but Elwood going around the outside into turn 1. McLeod holds his ground really strongly and is able to hold on, doesn't run too deep, so just that battle leveling up as well. But Sutton back up to this battle for 2nd and 3rd. Sutton's still there and racing the back of Ethan Grigol.
Yeah, I think now that Mitch McLeod's actually through Rich Elwood, I don't think, you know, unless there's a shortcut, I don't think Rich will be able to stay with Mitch McLeod there. So I reckon that's at 6th and 7th might be, sorry, 7th and 8th might be settled there to a point. Matty Stratford in the meantime is making some ground, and Brendan Hobson in the meantime has left us. So it's not good for Hobson. He was in 10th place, but not sure what's happened there, to try and see if I can find what's happened. But, oh, what's he done here? I think he's binned it at the Wall of Champions.
Yeah, he has. He's binned it at the Wall of Champions and had to.
He hasn't hit the wall, though. He hasn't hit the wall. He's very similar to what Craig Jones did in the SDRT. So he's just got on the power too early on the release of the Wall of Champions and put it on the inside wall, the pit wall, and that certainly ended his day. So that's ended his season. But I think if you ask Brenton how his season was, you know, new team, and I reckon he drove pretty well all season. So a little bit of a trip up there at the end. We've also got Heath Brennan in the pits. Missed that one, and he's been in there for over a lap as well. So a couple of the guys that are late in the race have left us.
Yeah, just finding some troubles late in the race as these tyres start to wear away. Definitely with the track temp, it's not kind on these tyres, but they're working around it as Ethan Grigol and Sam Sutton. Sam's behind him, but I don't know where he can get around it. I think that getting in that dirty air of Ethan Grigol is not helping the front of that TTL Commodore, and it's just holding him up just a little bit.
Added some encouraging news for Sam Sutton. We're just hearing from our old predecessor Sammy Compton that Ethan Grigol might be short on fuel, so might have to do some fuel saving, and we're going to jump on board with Sammy Sutton for the next lap, and we're going to stay behind his STC Commodore, the Knight Rider design car, the what have we got there, the KSW paints there. Great to have them on board as a sponsor. So we're going to jump on board, Mr. Director, with Sammy Sutton here as we go on board for the car 3 for what will be a lap 32 of this great track here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. So as they exit there, lap 32 is about to finish lap 33, so we've only got the 3 laps to go. Right now, if you're running short of fuel, all you're doing is looking at your dash, aren't you? The big heavy move, there's going to be contact.
Oh,
Let's see if there's any redress there.
Yeah, redress.
Yeah, well
He's
done
letting
to
back
Sammy.
in front.
Yeah, no, good job. And you know, straight away you think was it Brands Hatch last season, where the two of them were battling away there and got stuck into each other, and Ian Ford from nowhere had a win. So good job there for Sammy. He could have gone on with that, but yeah, it was a aggressive move into turn one, has to be said, but doesn't look like any damage to the car, so they can get straight back into it.
Yeah, a little bit of panel rubbing there going into turn one, but it's just one of those things. Yeah, he got in a bit hot, let it back through, readdress the position, but I think he is getting a bit anxious. We know he has had the pace, and I think with knowing that Ethan maybe a little bit short on fuel. I did ride on board with Ethan that last lap while we had the cameras on Sam Sutton, and he wasn't rolling out, so I don't know, maybe that was why he was a bit slower early on, as he goes very defensive into the hairpin, just running that defensive line. That may hurt his exit if he can't get off straight, and Sam Sutton may be able to have a look coming down the final chicane.
You know what, screw it boys, there's nothing to gain, there's nothing to lose, just have a bit of fun and get stuck in here. You've got 2.5 laps to go, and already Ethan, heavy, like ultra heavy defensive, almost on the grass on the right hand side defensive. So this is going to go all the way to the end, get stuck into it, I say, and let's just finish off this season. What's been a really, really good season with a bang. We've had multiple winners of this series so far, and we're hopefully not far away from getting another one as these guys enter turn one through the turn two section here. Just so keen to get on the power so early here, but you just can't. You gotta wait, and then finally can get out of there on the power. But wow, this race is going to go all the way to the end for these two.
Yeah, it's definitely going to go down to the wire, and these two were just battling hard. The defence that Ethan was playing down the back straight was full on. He wasn't letting that go. 2 laps to go. It's coming up to the white flag next time by, and it's one of those things that Sutton will be desperate to get past. He'll want to get that move done early and try and just skip away a little bit, try not to get a counter-attack from Ethan, and if he can get it done, he's going to have a look here, not alongside him yet. Oh, I thought better of it, good job there, and just going to sit behind him at the moment.
So there's no doubt Sammy's got the faster car, there's no doubt about that at all. These guys are on lap 34 for the second last time. They will come to the hairpin. Ethan's already got his marks as to where he believes the passing opportunities are here. But watch the drive out from Sam Sutton. It wasn't really that good, got a lot of wheel spin on exit there, and that certainly cost him a lot of ground. I'm not sure Ethan will need to go that defensive here. I'm not sure whether Sammy's got in the draft here. I reckon he has, but I don't think he's going to be close enough here to make a move.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be close enough. He needs to set himself up, though. He needs to get the positions where he knows he can have an attack, and I think he's maybe just tried to do that for turn one. He set himself up really nicely there. He's got a good run out of the final corner. He's going to maybe have a look down into turn one. He's going to look, and he's got it. He's going to have a look down into the inside of turn one, but he would be on the outside. He's trying to force the issue. There's contact there between him and Ethan, or I don't know what's going to happen
Racing
there.
incident. I think it was a racing incident. Well, certainly I'm hoping Sam hasn't got a damaged car, or whether that's going to be classed.
He's got a bit of damage to the right rear, so
well, I'm not sure it's going to be classed as a shortcut. We'll have a look at the replay of that. It's yeah, the boys are getting stuck into their work. I'm having a look. Sam's, is he up far enough? Probably is, but he's then hit the inside curb, which is the car's just become unbalanced and gone straight across Ethan Grigalt. But at the same time, you can't blame Sammy at all for having a red hot go there. At the same time, you can't blame young Ethan there for holding his ground. So I'm going to call that a racing incident. You know, there's going to be some who don't agree, but what we also need to do, Mr. Director, is acknowledge what's going up at the front here with Josh Rogers.
Yes, here comes Josh Rogers on the back straightaway for the final time. He's going to get one of these races won. I think you need to stop cursing him, Brenton, and he's finally going to get one. You didn't say anything about it, and here he comes coming through the final chicane now. Here he comes coming through the final chicane. Got some lap traffic in front of him, but it's not going to worry him. Josh Rogers from TTL in the custom image Ford Falcon is going to take out the final round of 2016 Season 1 here at Circuit de Villeneuve. Second place is going to be Ethan Grigalt, who's actually run out of fuel. He is literally coughing across the line. So Sam Sutton stayed with him. He may have got it, and Sutton comes home in third. There will be some controversy over that one.
Oh, I don't know if there will be. I don't know if there will. I hope there's not, because Sam came in a little bit hot, not massively hot by any means, and just hit that inside curb, and Ian Ford has decided to cross that finish line backwards. I think, get out the way. Yeah, so Fordy's hasn't had the greatest race there at all. Some good racing still going on though in the meantime, and Mitch McLeod certainly got away. It looks to me, yeah, and actually Greg Sharp has got away from Todd Parks and Michael Talajanak as well. So those guys will be on their last lap. But Josh Rogers, we didn't. One of those races where he was so dominant at the front, we didn't get that much of a chance to talk about him. But he's finally got his first win, and I'm thinking second place overall.
Yeah, it's a good result from Josh Rogers as he's just throwing it sideways now as he actually hits one of the, I think it was ceiling there, trying to get out of the way. But he deserves this win. He drove excellent all season, and he could have had it earlier on at Zolder with that little mistake of the curb hop that he got there, and he at one of the tracks where from now and to get a lot of curb hops, he was actually able to keep it down, got the car to the finish, and drove an excellent race, and definitely a deserving winner.
Yeah, it was a deserving winner, is a deserving winner, and will hopefully give him so much confidence now going into not just next season, but which we open up with next season at Monza. So so Monza's going to be really interesting. I think it's 35 laps, and that's on March 21st. So make sure you keep your eyes open for iRacing.com and RaceSpot TV for that live broadcast of round 1 of season 2, 2016 of the official series. But I'd imagine, next week, or this week, sorry, it's going to be everyone playing with the GT3s. But Jake, over to you. We'll get some results done.
Yeah, we'll run through these results for the final round of the season 1 of 2016 for the official V8 Supercar series, and Josh Rogers getting that win, well deserved. He drove an excellent race and got it done with Ethan Grigault in second, Sam Sutton in third. That battle was really hot towards the end. Ian Ford in fourth, definitely not the result he was looking for, would have lost that second place in the championship. Sealack fifth, Crackers Mitchell Sealack 5th, Michael Cracknell 6th, Mitchell McLeod in 7th, then we got Matty Stratford in 8th, Richard Alwood in 9th, and David Baxter, a strong result from 18th on the grid to 10th. Matt Jones just outside in 11th with Greg Sharp and Todd Parks 12th and 13th respectively, then Michael Talajanak in 14th. Then the cars that were sort of a long way down, Luke Powell, Heath Brennan, Brendan King, Brenton Hobson, Robbie Tomei, Mario Vlasic, Michael Popper and David A. Moore.
Good race, Hack. Obviously, with young Josh streeting from the front, but the action on the last lap there between Sam Sutton and Ethan Grigault will no doubt be spoken about. We've actually got Sam Sutton already with us here in the interview. Sammy, welcome to the broadcast, mate. P3 tonight in the last round of Season 1 2016 official iRacing V8 Supercar Championship, brought to you by RaceSpot TV. There's a mouthful. Sammy, welcome back. Good result last week. Strong result tonight, third place. Tell us a bit about it.
Yeah, I seem to have a thing with coming third here. Good race. I mean, qualifying probably better than I expected. And then I just threw it away at the third chicane, cut at the course. But other than that, raced my way back through the field and got on the back of Ethan there at the end. And it is what it is on TV. But I think a driver of his calibre could have easily avoided that, considering where he hit me was basically the boot lid. So think of it what you will, but I know us over at TTL have one view, and I'm sure HTC have one view as well.
Yeah, I only call it as I saw it, Sammy, to be honest with you. From my standing, it looked like you just hit the inside curb, which probably caused your car to be unbalanced, but I'm not going to argue over sticks and stones. I'll let you guys work that out. But probably more importantly for your team tonight, you've got a driver here who's won his first race. I think he's won some OSR Wednesday night races, I'm sure he has. Got really close, was showing some super competitive pace last week at this track in round 1 of the Scops, but tonight had the breakthrough win. Mate, tell us a bit about your team, mate.
Yeah, Josh has come on leaps and bounds. I mean, I went away for a month and disappeared, and he's back and he's beaten Hampstead. So the kid's got speed, and he showed tonight when he avoids the curbs and the slowdowns, he gets the job done, and he's got to put a lot of input into the setup, and we've got a little something we think at the moment that's just working for him, and he's flying away at the front on the 1 lap pace, and he's shown it tonight he can do it as well over 35.
And onwards next week, round 2 at Scops, Watkins Glen. Mate, what can you tell us a bit about that? Have you guys been out practicing pretty hard for what will be some good racing there?
Yeah, it's the oval of circuit racing, so I'm not looking too forward to it. I kind of hate that track with a passion, but it'll definitely be a close one, even closer than the last week we had in Scop. So I reckon you'll see a bit of a jumbled up top order for qualifying, but the race should shake out as you'd expect.
And now that you're back from the bushes outside of Canberra, mate, after your little trip away, are we expecting to see you more on Monday night races?
Yeah, actually schedule's changed here now at work, so I actually have Monday nights kind of free, so I should be fine, hopefully for the first time since I've started driving V8, be able to do 12 weeks in a series, but we'll see what happens with that.
Well, mate, good job tonight. 3rd overall. I know there was contact made earlier with Ethan Grigort, which was redressed. Contact later in the race, which, you know, I'm sure you and Ethan can talk about between each other when the time is right. But mate, 3rd place tonight and a win for TTL, most importantly for you guys. So yeah, good job.
Yeah, cheers, Brenton.
Oh, sorry. Before you go, is there anyone you want to thank at all?
Oh, of course, got to thank Custom Use Concepts. Of course, they're on the side of the car at the moment, and for just painting our wonderful looking skins. Not TTL looking ish, but definitely a striking new look for 2016.
Good on you, Sammy Sutton there for TTL. We're going to get Ethan Griggold in. Jake, I'll hand over to you. Ethan Griggold, 2nd place tonight, 4-time champion. Well done on my behalf, Ethan. Jake Blacker will be your next voice.
Yeah, congratulations on the championship, Ethan. A good, strong result today. A little bit of contact there towards the end of the race there with Sam Sutton, but tell us how it all went.
Yeah, it was an absolutely awesome race. I knew I didn't have the outright pace to beat these guys here at this track, so I was pretty much just leaning on a mistake from any two of them. And Sam got a slow down early, which allowed me to pull a bit of a gap, which I kind of needed in the end since he pulled me in quite quickly. But yeah, had a really great fight the last 3 laps. I was actually short on fuel a little bit, so trying to save little bits here and there at the end to try and make it over the line. But on that last lap into the first corner, I'm not sure, that was a pretty huge dive bomb by Sam there and just diagonal the corner, so I don't know, it can kind of go either way, 50-50, but yeah, I was planning on just trying to hold it around the outside, but when he's got that much speed on me, there's nothing I can really do. Can't brake turning, so...
Yeah, it's just one of those, I don't know how it could be viewed. It could be viewed in both ways, and I think that's what is being viewed in 2 different ways at the moment, and it's just one of those incidents that sort of just happens in racing. It's, the move was on, yes and no, but it's definitely just something that will happen, and it's racing. We've all got to move on. As we move on as well, for next week we have Watkins Glen for the V8 Supercar Online Premier Series, and that's something you're definitely going to be looking forward to.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Watkins Glen is an absolutely awesome track with it's just a bunch of straights and high speed corners, so it's just going to be a bunch of draft fest. And yeah, it should be really close racing there. We haven't really done any development work on the car yet around there. I've yet to turn a lap, so yeah, we're going to turn the heat up for it next week and hopefully get a good result.
Yeah, it'll be good to see how you go there. So 4-time champion now. Let that sink in just a little bit. Move on to next season. Will you make it 5? It's going to be an interesting one. Like your longer races, how is that going to play with you for the whole of next season?
I definitely would like to make it 5, but it seems like next season is an endurance championship instead of a V8 Supercar season, so I'm kind of hesitant to run it. But yeah, we'll just see how it pans out. I might be there for the first few weeks, and depending on how I feel, I might go further or not.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be one of those longer seasons, and it will make a lot of people stretch with the amount of laps. So it'll definitely be over. A couple of races will be over an hour, maybe even an hour and a half. So long races next season, and be something that everyone's going to be having to deal with. But congratulations on the championship, Ethan. Anyone you'd like to thank before we let you go?
Hey, I'll just like to thank the boys at SCC for letting me in season 1 2015 in the first place, giving me a shot, and to come out here with 4 championships in one day, I'm pretty damn happy, and it's definitely not what I expected. So yeah, a massive thanks to the boys over there. I couldn't have done it without them.
Yeah, cheers. Well done, Ethan, and congratulations again from me and Brenton. I say Hugo will be congratulating you as well on another great season, and look forward to seeing you next season. Thanks for that, boys. Great broadcast as always. Cheers. As we move on to, I don't know, Brenton, would you like to take the eventual winner of tonight if you're still there?
I shall take the wheel for a sec because I'm a fan. I'm a big fan of this guy, race winner. They haven't said that before to this guy. Josh Rogers, congratulations. Round 12. You left it late. You've let me down so many bloody times this season, mate, but you've done it finally. Round 12 winner of the V8 official supercar race. Congratulations.
Thanks, boys. Yeah, I did leave it a little bit late, didn't I? But tonight was a really good race for me. I was absolutely stoked with that, and considering I got no slowdowns tonight, which is a big change from Prem Series on Sunday.
Well, you're going to burn your reputation there, mate, because I think the boys are lining you up there from your... let's face it, it was a bit of a disaster for you last week. I think they'll line you up for that, but a bit of payback tonight, mate, with no slowdowns.
Yeah, super pleased. Basically, lap 1, just a bit of a kind of try and make as much of a gap as I could. I saw Ethan and Sam were battling, so I just thought I'd try and make the most of it and try and get in a nice smooth rhythm. And I think I was opening up a bit of a gap to Ethan, and then towards the end of the stint, just closing it back in again, and I had a bit of traffic, so I thought, well, I can pit now, I may as well. And I don't know, it seems to be the car is always a lot better on its tyres in the second stint, not sure why, but it felt wicked in that second stint. But in the last couple of laps I was actually very scared because my shifter started double downshifting again like it was at the start of the season at Zandvoort and Nürburgring, so I was very, very cautious from that. I didn't want to blow something away.
Yeah, well, I remember turn 1 at Zandvoort, your engine decided to leave you there for a while with a double downshift, but maybe I'm thinking, mate, that the cars will get quicker in the second stint of the race when the track rubbers up a little bit more. And are you sick of seeing this track now? I know you had a win here tonight and quickest in pre-qual last week, but you're probably a bit glad to see the back of this track, I'd imagine.
Yeah, a little bit. We have done from Prem Series, practice, race, qual, and then now this, we have done a lot of laps around here, and it can get a little bit boring, I guess you could say, but yeah, a little bit almost disappointed to see it go at the same time, considering we've finally had some success here, so yeah, we'll be glad to see those curbs go though. It's a mongrel getting over those things.
And the monkeys off the back, mate, having a win finally, mate, well deserved, no doubt. Next season, starting off on March 21 at Monza, 35 laps. Ethan just described it as a bit of an endurance series. He's right, they are genuinely long races, all of them. What's your thoughts now going into next season?
Yeah, they are very, very long races. If considering Prem Series will probably be a little bit of a priority now, might show up for a few races just to keep my head in the game every few weeks, but it probably won't be a main thing for me. But yeah, the long races can be a good thing, can be a bad thing. I think we're well used to them now, and it would be nice to see a change in some sprint races, and I believe next season is mostly long races, so yeah, a little bit bummed about that, but what can you do? Long races are still good for strategy, learning that whatnot, but most of the time nowhere near as exciting.
Well, mate, good job here. It's all gone to chaos at my house. So, mate, is there anyone you want to thank at all?
Yeah, just like to thank Hampstead for doing the fuel numbers once again. Jack Maloney for all the just the race info. You guys for broadcasting, obviously. TTL for their backing. They do an incredible job at that, and yeah, hope to maybe see you guys here in a few weeks' time. We'll see.
Look forward to it. Josh Rogers, winner tonight of round 12, and well deserved as well, second place overall. I reckon that might wrap us up, Jake and Mr. Direct. Actually, no, we should get, the third place overall in as well. Ian Ford, third place overall in the series. I'm thinking fourth place in the race tonight. Jake, I'm just going to hand over to you.
Yeah, well done. Not the result you're looking for, Ian Ford. You come away with a 4th place tonight and 3rd in the championship as we're looking at it now. So not the way you wanted to end the season, but still you got to take some positives away from it.
Yeah, that's it. It's a bit embarrassing to stumble at the last hurdle, but definitely it was a weak start to the season, and then we slowly just built up stronger and stronger each week, and to only just finish off the podium tonight and finish on the podium most of the other weeks, it's been fair going in the last couple of races, and it's been one of those seasons where it's like you just don't get to run sort of thing, like you don't get the luck that you need sort of thing in certain times, and you pit in stupid times, and I'm happy to come out with 3rd place overall. That's an awesome achievement, and hopefully I can go a bit better next season.
Yeah, it's long season next season though. It's not going to be as easy as this season was with a lot of long races. How are you guys going to adjust to that?
I'll do a bit of work over the off season, just trying to get the car a bit nicer for some of the tracks that we struggled at this season, and hopefully next season I get into a bit of a rhythm where it's like I can just absolutely hammer the car all season long, which is something that I struggled with towards the start of the season, where I was absolutely burning out tyres, or the car was just going out of balance and all those sort of things. So hopefully we work on it and come out strong.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those things to see how you will go next season. One thing looking forward to this weekend as well, you got a Premier Series at Watkins Glen. Definitely going to be a different one than what we've seen first round at Montreal.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a bit of a challenge. All the drafting, all those sort of things, and it's going to be a bit better than Montreal because certain teams won't have about a month's worth of practice on board. So it's going to be a bit nicer just to have everyone on a bit more of a level playing field, which is always good for the guys further down the back, the ones that are right on the bubble for the top 40, because they may find something a little bit different and jump up the field, but. It's Watkins Glen. It's going to be some awesome racing, and I think we're also doing the Sebring 12 hour next week, so that's going to be another awesome thing to do. Jump into the C7 and absolutely blitz it around Sebring.
Yeah, it's going to be a big race this weekend. Brought to you here live on RaceSpot TV as well, the Sebring 12 hour. But congratulations on 3rd place. Good season you had. Looking forward to next season, and anyone you'd like to thank before we let you go.
I'd just like to thank you guys for doing the broadcast. It's been absolutely amazing watching the broadcast back most races. There's lots and lots of back and forth battles throughout the field. GTI has come aboard, so their springs and the pedals of my G27 definitely do a bit of difference once you get used to them. Maverick Welding, Demidov Innovations, ALC, whichever way it is, and Night Rider Designs for doing their absolutely mad skins on all of our cars.
Thank you, 40, and look forward to seeing you next season. Brenton, would you like me to wrap it up, or would you like to wrap it up for this season, as I think it's got something for you to say?
No, I got nothing to say. It was a great effort by Ethan Greg Golf, 4 times champion, and I know the races are long next year or next season, there's no doubt, and other teams have other priorities, but the official series feeds so well into other series, and without it, every other series doesn't have the strength that it does. There's no doubt about it, and we've got some great drivers on the up and up, and they all go through as official series, so no doubt it will remain strong throughout, and looking forward to watching next season and seeing what can happen there and what transpires with what is going to be probably the longest season that I can remember in my 9-10 seasons that I've been on board watching now as well. So fantastic result for Ethan Greg Galt, 4-time champion, well deserved. But well, that's pretty much it for us, isn't it, Jake? You'll be taking the wheel next season, looking forward to that. But in the meantime, Hugo, if you've got something to play for us, get it happening, because this has been the last round, round 12 of season 1 2016, where Ethan Greg Galt, second place tonight, winner of the championship, well deserved. And on behalf of everyone at iRacing.com, bringing you this live stream with Hugo Louise in our director's chair. Special mention to Will Vincent the big boss of Race Spot TV, and a very, very special mention to Jake Blackall sitting beside me for all of this season. It's been a great season. Looking forward to seeing you again on March the 21st for Season 2, 2016 of the official V8 Supercar Championship.